Good morning, Michelle Arnett here at Diamond Rock Glass Studio. Thank you so much for joining me. We will be making the 3D Christmas star today. So here is the very same 3D Christmas star that you saw in the intro. What we will be making today is a slightly smaller version of this. And what makes this so easy and so fun to make is that, again, we will be using a jig. If you've seen many of my other videos, you know that we use a resin printed jig that is printed by my brother at Game On 3D. So you might be a little surprised at what this jig looks like to make this particular project today. So here is what it looks like. You will notice an A, a B, and a C. This goes along with the pattern that will be included in the kit if you order this from my website, diamondrockglassstudio.com. So to make this a larger 3D star, I use these three larger triangles. What we're going to be using today is these three smaller triangles, A, B, and C, which correlate with the A, B, and C on the jig. This will all make a lot more sense once we get started. So let's get started. And again, thank you so much for joining me. So here we have our pattern. Again, this 150%, the three larger triangles, this is what I use to make the Christmas star that you saw in the intro. Today we will be using the 100%. Here is the jig again. And yesterday I made a Christmas star and I recorded it. I have an iPhone that I airdrop onto my iMac, and everything somehow got converted to slow motion. So I am redoing this whole part. But yesterday, and you'll see this at the end, I made the Christmas star using this really pretty Uroboros by Yakagani, but I'm not going to use this again. My Christmas display this year, it was going to be this glass, and if you watch my 5-point star video, you'll know that, but I have changed my mind, and my Christmas display this year is going to be all different textures of clear iridescent. So that big iridescent star that you saw in the beginning, that's going to be in my Christmas display, and the one I make today is also going to be in the Christmas display. So yesterday I cut these three out, so I have those cut out right here. And notice on this pattern that you get, it says red lines indicate which sides of each triangle to position together, and the right side that should be positioned toward the center of star when assembling. So hopefully that's going to make a lot more sense as we go through and make this today. But hopefully you can see there is a red line on one side of all of these and an arrow pointing to that line in case you cut it off to the point you can't really see the red line that you cut. And the only one that is actually really important for is the pattern A. So you can see this side and this side are almost the same, but one side is slightly longer and one side is slightly shorter. So this, even once you cut it out, you can see this little red arrow is pointing to the side that when you cut these both out, they're going to go together. So like I said, hopefully as I go through making this, it'll make a little bit more sense. So you will also notice on these pattern pieces, here's A, B, and C. On A, it says ×6. So I need 6 of these, and 3 of them are going to be right side up. 3 of them are going to be upside down. On my B's, it says ×8. So I need 8 of these. 4 of these are going to be right side up. 4 of them are going to be upside down. On my C's, I need 2 of these. One is going to be upside down. One is going to be right side up. I'm going to start with the A's. And again, as I'm tracing this, I'm going to put a little X where the red line is. And on the A's, I'm also going to put, indicate somehow that this is right side up and then right side down. So I might put 3 with an XU and 3 with an XD. Okay, so I hope that this is all making sense, but I'm going to go ahead and start tracing. Again, I love my Pilot gold marker. This is waterproof, very permanent. It does not come off until you either grind it off or you use something like nail polish remover or a paint thinner to get it off. So I'm going to do all my tracing with this. This is a really pretty clear iridescent. This is some glass that I have inherited. I don't even know who makes it, but it's got like these raindrops on it. So I'm gonna go upside down on the smooth side. And again, my A times 6, so 3 are gonna be right side up, 3 are gonna be upside down. So I'm gonna go ahead and do all my tracing. And again, this gold pilot marker, I've explained this in other videos. If you have any difficulties seeing it, if you put white paper under it, it shows up a lot more. So I'm gonna do that for this video. I don't usually, it does show up, but just so you can see it a little bit better, I'm going to go ahead and do it over white paper so you can see a little bit better. So I have all my pieces cut out. All the glass is right side up right now. The A's are the medium size. So as you can see, I cut 3 right side up, 3 right side down. My B's, I cut 4 right side up, 4 upside down. And on my C's, 1 right side up, 1 right side down. So next I'm going to grind all of these pieces and foil, and then I will be back for assembly, and we're going to use this jig here. I have all of the grinding and foiling finished. I've got my A's here, my B's here, and my C's here. So I'm going to start with the A's. They're the medium size triangles. And remember, these are the ones that are the most difficult to tell the difference between this side and this side. So, and again, 3 of them were right side up, 3 of them were upside down. So I'm going to put my B's and C's away for now and get my jig out. So again, these are all different angles. A is different from B and different from C. They're all different angles. So we're gonna use pattern A in the cavity that is labeled A. So again, the A's I have labeled, you can still see the marker on them, the permanent marker, even through the washing and everything. I grinded away or ground away the lines to trace, but then here's the X. You can't really, is that a D or a U? This is a D, so XD, so this one was down, and XU, this one was up. So we're gonna take one of each, and with the back sides up, I'm gonna put the 2 X's together. So they are gonna go in my A like this. And again, you've seen this, if you've seen some of my other videos, like the star, the 5-point star video, and the cross, the 3D cross video. Mark continues to put this ridge, which I feel like is so brilliant, but there's this ridge in here in the bottom that allows for you to perfectly situate your pattern pieces. So this side fits exactly there, and this side fits exactly there. So this seam in the center is going to come together perfectly. If that ridge was not there, it would slide all the way to the bottom, and then you would have to carefully try to situate so they were coming at an angle together perfectly. But this ridge, as you can see, and you'll be able to see even better once we get this seam soldered, and then we flip it over, you'll see there's a perfectly angled angle there. So the other thing is, remember where the X's are, or where the red lines are, and the red arrows are pointing to that. Not only do those come together like this, this is going to be the inside of the star, and the other side is going to be the outside of the star. So Ideally, both ends will meet up really well, like this one is meeting up really well, but I'm gonna focus mostly on the X side because where they all meet together in the center, I wanna make sure that's as good as it possibly can be. So I'm gonna go ahead and flux the inside here. And solder that. Just get a couple spots. And then get that entire solder line. So once I have that inside solder seam, I'm going to take it out and see that beautiful angle. So now I can get this paper out of the way. I'm going to use the jig as support to make this flat and add some more flux here and add some more stability and just solder this top seam here. Oops. So I'm going to do that to all of my points, and then I'm going to put a glove on to do the tinning of each piece. So these pieces get hot. So once I have this much done with each of the pieces, I'm going to, like I said, put a glove on and then flux wherever there's copper foil and tin all those areas. So I'm going to finish these two A's in the compartment A, and then my B's at a different angle are going to go in B, and then my two C's to make this one again backside up, I'm going to use in this one here. Okay, here are my 4 B's, my 3 A's, and my C. We are ready to assemble our Christmas star. Now we're ready to assemble, and I just wanted to show you, if you need a refresher on what a Christmas star looks like, Mark has printed one on the side of this jig. So this is nice to have, because if you were just looking at this jig, you would probably have no idea what it is for. So I'm just gonna wipe this down a little bit. It's full of flux. And again, these wipe up and clean up really nicely. So, so we can see the C is this bottom long one here. And then we've got the top and the 2 sides, which are the A's. So we've got 3 of those. And again, remember, I haven't washed these yet. I can still see where I put my X's. And remember, I said the X's go toward the center of the star. So I'm going to do that next. So I've got that, and that leaves my 4-point B's. So again, the point of the B is the longer one that's going to go here. And these actually go up like this. See how it goes up like that? Okay, so, and I have made a couple of these so far, and what I have found is to just start with the first 2 pieces. Like this one, I'm gonna tack it slightly I'm not going to tack it a lot. I'm just going to tack it so it'll stay. That much. That's it. And then I'm going to go all the way around. And there is going to be a hole in the center of the star. So you do want your pieces to be cut pretty good. And this one is next. So you just want to kind of tack them in place just a little. So if you need to change them a little, you can do that. Like that one I made it at a kind of a wrong angle, so I just fixed it. So I'm going to go all the way around. This one, you may have a better way of doing this, but I have found for me, putting the first couple together, this seemed to work just fine. Oh, that one needs to go up a little more. So I'm looking at obviously the seam and the center hole and where they meet up on the Homasote board. This one, I'm gonna actually turn this whole thing so I can get to it better. Like that might be as good as that one's gonna get. And the gaps, if you have gaps, that will fill in with solder. This one I'm gonna make sure I've got my X's there. So remember I said wherever your X's are, that's the X's are all toward the center. So this one I can still see my X's. That one goes up here and that's gonna fit in there just fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and tack it on both sides. I'm gonna turn it a little. So see, it's still kind of flexible, but you do want to be really careful with this right now. And then this one will slide right into place. Now this is looking really good. I've got my center. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. So now I am going to fix up and run some more solder on the outside seams here. And all this can be fixed up later. I'm trying to get it strong enough so I can flip it over, and those inside seams are where it's really going to add strength, and then also filling in that center is really going to give it strength. So I'm not so much concerned about extra solder. I'll fix that all up later. So I'm just trying to get it strong enough to be able to flip it. And of course, I have my handy wedges right in front of me in case I want to grab those, because those really help to kind of act as a third hand to help you hold your pieces in place as you're soldering. And I'm just about done with this outside part. I have a lot of globs that I'm going to want to fix up, and a lot of excess solder that's falling. So, but that's I think is going to be, oh, I want to do this seam too. There. I think that's all of them. So now I'm going to carefully turn it over. And the first thing I'm going to do, since I have this excess solder here, I'm going to use my handy wedges. These are on my website, and if you've seen my other videos, you know I am always using my handy wedges. Like I said, kind of acts as a third hand. Like right now, I can solder the inside, and as soon as I do this, it's really going to strengthen this this star. And it's kind of the same thing that I do with a 5-point star. If you haven't seen that video, I do have on my website a 5-point star. The jig, again, is printed by my brother at Game On 3D. All of his products are heat proof. They're very durable. You can use them over and over and over again. they clean up really nicely. So I'm just allowing that center to set a little bit. So now I can hold it up, and this is pretty sturdy, so I'm not afraid to pick it up. And obviously I'm going to clean up all these excess, but before I do that, I want to get all of these inside seams, and that's really going to finish it up, make it really strong. So I'm going to use my handy wedges to try and help me situate again. And I do have some gaps, so my cuts aren't perfect, but I always end up making it look very nice. We can use patina if we want, although I think I'm not using patina on my Christmas display with all this iridescent clear. I'm going to try to keep everything silver, I think. So I got one little gap there. I can put it against the handy wedge and fill that. A little bit of gap is not a big deal. You're not even going to notice it. So I'm going to fill in all of these seams, and as I do that, I'm going to clean up any excess solder that I have. So now I'm going to wash this really good with a flex remover. I'm going to use something to get that permanent marker off all the insides of the triangles. I'm going to put a hook here, and then I'm going to show you, I'm going to hang it up with my other stars and show you how it looks up in the window. Here is the Christmas star I made yesterday that recorded in slow motion. Here's the one I showed in the intro yesterday, and here's the one that we just finished. So they all look really nice. This is 100% and 150%. And I have these in a window with some of my 5-point stars with that really pretty Urobros by Yakagani glass. So all of these are on my website, diamondrockglassstudio.com. And not only can you find all of these on my website, you can find all of the instructional videos on my website. It's under the tab that says learning videos. And these are also on YouTube. When I upload these to YouTube, they automatically go to my website. So thank you again so much for joining me. And I love it when you email me pictures of projects that you've made. So feel free to take a look at all the different 3D items that we have. And we have lots of more ideas that we will be coming out with soon. So have a great day. Thank you so much. Thank you again so much for joining me. If you are new to stained glass or you need a refresher, please feel free to go back to my very first video. It is 55 minutes long. It's how to make a sun catcher, and it goes through every step of the stained glass process. So from picking out your pattern to picking out your glass, how to cut, grind, foil, solder, and finally finish your piece. It's all taught in that first video, 55 minutes long. So again, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time.